this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a very pretty, soft type of design to paint on a glass bottle. I've cleaned off this glass bottle and it's ready to go. I am going to be using two Amagic flat brushes, a number 16 and a 10, and then two round Amagic brushes, a 16 and a 6, and then a number 2 Deerfoot stippler and a Westonia fine liner. All these are going to be linked below. You're welcome to purchase through my affiliate links. I'm going to be using pale yellow, happy green, love happy green, light lavender, sweet pink, thicket, and wicker white. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ready. I'm going to be using a couple different, or creating a couple different flowers. One, I'm going to dip the one side of the brush into the wicker white and one side into the sweet pink, and then just do my blending strokes. Again, I am not real particular about this, so I'll just keep adding paint as I go. Sometimes I just dip it in and I don't even do a stroke, a blending stroke. I just paint. You'll find your way when you get into doing this, just so that you know. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put down my first stroke. And I'm just doing a light wiggle. And I'm going to come back over. Now when you're doing this, you might find that you want to just give it some dry time. That's up to you. And it's hard, like when you're trying to do movements like what I just did, it's hard to get those in nicely because when you turn your brush, a lot of times it smears it off instead of putting it on. But you're just kind of doing some rolling. And I'm going to come back over these and do another layer. But right now I'm just going to begin with the back petals of the flower. And you can leave this part off if you don't wish to do it. That's fine. I was just trying to do like more of a flower that kind of rolls a little bit, that the leaves, the petals roll. But I'm just going up, doing slight wiggles, and coming down. And I can do, you know, if I wanted to do 3 or 4 petals, I could do that. I'm just doing a couple, and then I'll add a little bit of a center and do some more ruffles around it. On this one, I think I'm going to stop with the 3, because if you follow me, you know that I like odd numbers. I did more on the original than what I'm doing now, but I'll be right back. I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is take my little Deerfoot stippler. I'm just sticking it into the pale yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and create a center before I come back through and put the bottom layer of petals on here. But I'm just patting it, stuck it into the pale yellow, and then just patting it on here. If you want to add any other colors to this center, you can certainly do that. I'm not worried about doing that right now, you know, but it's up to you. Alright, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to dip into my white, dip back into this sweet pink, do some blending strokes, and then come in and add the bottom layers. Alright, so you can start down here if you want, come up. I don't want to cover up the center. I have to be careful because when you paint on glass, it does this. Sometimes you can do it and it goes over nicely. Other times it's just a nightmare. And right now it wants to be a nightmare. So you just kind of have to tap it in. But I wanted to do some rolling with my leaves, my petals, but it's not gonna let me do it. So here we go down here. We'll see if I can get in here and just kind of do it down here, maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, you just have to be willing to give it a try and see what happens. I'm just going to leave it like that. So I just want a little bit of the center to show. So you can just kind of come down at the bottom here and just do like that. All right. So when you're painting over a spot that's already painted, you do have to be really careful because that's exactly what will happen. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is go into my light lavender with my number 16 round brush. Just tip it in here. Not anything difficult. I am going to come in and I'm just going to pull towards the center. And with these, you don't have to make any certain amount of petals. It's not a certain flower. It's just a design. So don't be too crazy about it because it's just merely a design. I'm not, at this point, not doing specific flowers. If you're new to painting, just make sure when you're getting ready to paint on glass, whatever item you're going to be using, that you do clean it well and that you use rubbing alcohol on it after you're done washing it so that it will be free of any extra grime, dirt, whatever you might have from your hands or from like your paper towels, that kind of thing, that none of that is still left behind. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is stick this into the white, and I'm going to come back over this. And then, you know, just pull it towards the center. Not a biggie, and they don't all have to have the same amount of white on them. Actually, if you wanted, you could just maybe not even put white on all of them. That's up to you. And I'm sorry, I know my hand gets in the way. Apologize for that. I'm a lefty. That happens. If you don't want to do this part, then what you might want to do, if you don't want to put another color over it, is go back over it with the same color. Just give it some dry time. Maybe hit it with a heat gun so that you have nice coverage. But I would definitely get to the center there. I'm just going to tap a real light center in. And also, if you're new, I try to remind people that my channel is for easy designs so that everybody can feel successful when they're painting. Alright, going to go back into the yellow. And I'm just going to tap in here. I just want to keep them simple. Nothing difficult here. If you don't like pulling in some of the color from underneath, then give it some dry time once again or hit it with the heat gun. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating that, but you know, it's up to you. And if you wanted to use a different color for the centers, of course, maybe that's perfectly fine too. I just decided to use the yellow. I like this yellow. I just happened to pick it up today and it's pretty, so that's why I'm using it. Alright, got my fine liner. Stick it in here, stick it in this one, just kind of roll it out, no big deal. And then I'm going to go through here connecting. And just get my arrangement all hooked together here. And I don't care if it all looks like it's going into one stem. That's perfectly fine. Or you can just paint leaves around it. It's up to you. Alright, so I got just my light stems in here. I'm going to go ahead and you know, I like to do some little extra pulls here. Just, you know, make them so they're not straight. And you can also just kind of add another branch to it. Doesn't have to be just one stem. And it can be smaller too. Don't have to have them completely, you know, long. I like a lot of leaves. If for some reason you're not that kind of a person where you really don't like a lot of leaves, just cut some off. I mean, you don't have to do everything I'm doing. Just keep in mind what I'm doing is just to give you some ideas of what can be done. It's not something you obviously have to do. You create it the way you want to create it. Alright, so for the next thing, I'm going to put one side into the thicket, one side into my happy green. And I just love this green. It's so pretty. Alright. And then this style of leaf I'm going to be doing. Do one over here. It's just I'm wiggling it on one side, come into the tip, not completely. You can stand it up further if you want, but I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to roll it. And I'm trying to do, let's see what else here. Do another one here. And yes, I am going to pick up some color from underneath. That's going to happen. Not a big deal. I don't really, it doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, then you know what to do, right? If you ever get to a point where your paint is not as opaque as you'd like it to be, your best bet is to add a little bit of white to it. The white has a lot of pigment, and so it definitely makes a difference in getting a nice, you know, nicer coverage. Okay, so let's go. I'm just going to add some of these, because I'm going to do more than one style of leaf. You just have to be careful when you're wiggling too on the glass. Glass is a whole different beast when you're painting on it, because, you know, as you've seen, it can raise up. When you're trying to do some wiggle motion, it can pull the paint up. You can give it some dry time and do some more creative styles of leaves or petals for your flowers if you wish. But that definitely takes a little bit of dry time in order to do that. Alright, so I'm going to come down here. And let's see what else we got going here. I just want to kind of make it, you know, a little bit here and there. Doesn't have to be completely filled. Although typically by the time I'm done, it's completely filled for the most part. I'm pretty good about that. Do it this way, like you can go back over it, fix it up some. I like that. I like how it waves. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Reason being is that I like my odd numbers. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is stick my 10, or no, it's not 10, it's a 6 round brush into this pale yellow. I'll probably do some greens and some of this green, you know, just tipping it in. But this kind of flower or leaf is just going to be The kind that you put down and you pull. You put it down and you pull. And you know, you can do it down here. You can have it just straight yellow if you want. Or you can, like I said, tip it into the two other colors. Again, that's up to you. But just make sure you have good coverage. And then I'm going to come here. I can even tip a little bit into the darker one again and just kind of go back and forth with it. And this way you're giving it some interest, because you know, not everything's going to be identical or exactly the same in real life. And you can make your petals just different sizes. They don't all have to be the same size. Just, I think it's pretty that way. And then you can come over here and just add just a little bit of color, a lot of color, up to you. Again, I hope I'm getting this on. I'm sorry if you are hearing any dog barking, but I have my daughter's dog and he is a barker. And he's like a horse. So you can always go over them again. With the round brush, it seems like it gives you really good coverage. So like you can do this, do that. Just go back and forth, add more color to it. You could even add in some white if you wanted. Less pressure equals a smaller relief. Okay, so this one I'm just going to pretend like it's coming from underneath here. Like that. And it's, if you want to come in here maybe and add a little bit more, you can. If you feel like maybe down in here you just wanted to add some more, just stand back and take a look and see where you might want to do some fillers. You can come out to the side, up to you, definitely up to you. And I like to give you that creative license just to do what works for you. Alright, I think we're done. Very pretty, very soft. I think, and very pretty. Like right here it split a little bit. You can just, you know, touch that up if you want. I'm not going to mess with it because I'm going to be wiping it off. But anyways, I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And before you leave, if you would take a moment to share this video on your social network, I would greatly appreciate it. Just hit the share button underneath the video. It'll give you your options and you're good to go. Alright, until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.